Hello. I'm here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to 50/50 Booking. And if you don't understand that particular trick, then you probably didn't see what I saw. So basically, welcome to this week's look back at WWE. That's what we do on this show. Over this side here is Kieran McCullers, is Aaron. He's a bit under the weather, so he's probably try and take it a bit easier. I'm getting as much as possible. Still doing his charity for the month, so you guys will have to check out the site. The link's down below. Don't go to Just Giving page. It doesn't work for this charity because it's not a UK-based one. It's an Australian one. So, but the website is linked under here. It's basically rucksacks, bags full of stuff given to children who are going into homes and stuff, so they don't have nothing when they first get started into like a new home. If I remember correctly, yes. Fantastic. So I'm trying to save Aaron's voice as much as possible right now. So hence plugging his charity, which I think probably helps a bit. Aaron's been doing his streams as much as possible. Of obviously, when you've got a bit of an issue with your throat, he lost his voice at one point during the week as well. So that makes it hard to obviously do streaming when you're supposed to be talking. So yeah. Obviously, Aaron's been doing that. Yesterday, I was at African Fashion Week doing my photography stuff. It's, part of the job. So got to take photos of a gentleman called Anthony Anderson, if anyone knows who that is. He's a Hollywood actor. He was at the show. He did a catwalk walk. So it's interesting, nice, fun little thing to do. But it's something I've done for like the last 8 out of 9 years. So I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's a break from doing all my normal stuff. And obviously today with you guys, managed to sneak in various amounts of wrestling to watch. Obviously, the one we both like to do, and obviously we've been doing the WWE stuff as well. What we'll do is start with Raw, because obviously we'll start in order, and we will finish with Extreme Rules, because we will go over that as well. And I have some opinions about Extreme Rules, but we will get to that. But we have to start with Raw first. See? And there we go. Right, so first thing I have for Raw is Judgment Day against AJ and Ray as far as matches go.
Yeah. Before the match, Judgment Day came out, did a promo about Edge, and then the match happened. Balor said that AJ was his friend and all that crap as well, and then the match happened, and it was pretty much chaos throughout, from what I remember.
Yeah, it's. But it's like, I'm getting bored of seeing this.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's got nothing to do with the 4 people in this match. It's just this storyline is crap.
Yeah. During this match as well, they announced that the Bloodline's going to be on Raw this week, even though it was supposed to be this week. And also, DX is going to be on Raw this week, even though it's supposed to be this week. So, yeah, it was a bit confusing. They put everything back a week for some reason. So all of this was kind of last minute from the sounds of things.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I heard, because a lot of this got rearranged and re-slotted for various reasons.
I had quite a bit of deja vu watching this. I was just like, they're like advertising this exactly the same way they advertised it last week.
Yeah, do you remember there was a point back in mid-2000s, right? Like 2014, 2015, where literally every single Raw was copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. That's what this shit reminds me of.
Yeah.
Oh dear. But Judgment Day won the match, which shouldn't surprise anyone really, because the way this feud's going.
Especially with the whole Dominic and Ripley thing again wasn't needed ringside at all, really.
Okay, we covered this last week as well. Dominic isn't needed full stop here. I mean, I don't have an issue with him personally, but he does not need to be in this angle, honestly. He'd be better off in NXT. Go let him get trained, for God's sake.
Yeah, Ripley took out Mysterio, and Balor eventually got the pin on AJ Styles.
Yeah. That's pretty much it, really.
But after the match, something well, I'd say interesting, but I'd be lying. AJ and Mysterio had a falling out, and
Yeah.
Ray left Styles to the wolves in the form of Judgment Day.
Yeah. Rey Mysterio, ultra babyface, leaves his partner to be beaten up.
Yeah.
Don't say a word. Don't say a word.
We then found out that Daniel Cormier would be special guest referee for the Rollins and Riddle Fight Pit match at Extreme Rules.
Yes. And do you know the thing about that? One, I had to look up who he was. I didn't have a clue.
See, I did, but it didn't do anything for the match, in my opinion. And we get onto that later.
We will do, yeah, but obviously because this was mentioned here, because it's a case of normally if you have a special guest referee sort of thing, it's supposed to be something that a lot of people are going to know. And I think some people would know who this guy is, but there's going to be a lot of particularly wrestling fans who are going to be like, who?
Not only that, it's adding another dimension to the match, like an X factor, to make it a little bit more interesting, perhaps. But this didn't do anything for me.
I was going to say, also, it wasn't a good one, which made it worse.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen the Fight Pit matches in NXT UK.
Right.
And the refs were on the lower level and the top level. And then during this match, I was laughing through most of it because, well, I was laughing through part of it because they went up to the second tier of it. And Cormier didn't climb up to go onto the second tier with him. He just stayed down there and said, I can't count to 10 up there.
That's how it'll be. Right. He'll climb up there and he'll get a fucking nosebleed.
I was like, this would have been better off with an actual referee because they'd have actually climbed it and we'd have had the counts on the second tier.
Maybe he doesn't know how to climb.
Maybe he wasn't paid enough.
I think that's probably more likely. To be fair, if this had been like a Hell in a Cell match or something like that, or like the triple tier cage matches, I'd understand that. But the Fight Pit isn't like that.
No.
So yeah.
So following this, we had Lashley in a segment, and he was talking about wanting competition. And Mustafa Ali stepped up and said that he kind of seemed to be angry about being left out and demanded a shot and slapped Lashley round the face. And Lashley said, "You want your shot? I'll see you in the ring."
I didn't mind that. I think that's a good way to. It's a good way to set up a match, honestly.
Yeah. What followed this made no sense, though. We had a Bloodline segment, and they wanted to put everyone on notice. They had a bit of a fallout with the Street Profits, but this ended up with Sikoa challenging Dawkins to a match with the Street Profits.
Yeah, trying to work out why he challenged Dawkins.
I don't know. Maybe
to be fair, nobody can wrestle forward at the moment. So
no, I think it was more of like Sikoa felt like he disrespected the Bloodline, and he's the enforcer, so he had to challenge him to a match. He didn't have a choice in the matter, really.
I kind of understand that one. I think it's also a case of from angle wise. I think it's giving Dawkins something to do as well, because obviously at the moment, no tag partner.
Yeah, and believe it or not, Dawkins as a singles competitor is pretty decent anyway because he's had a singles run before.
Well, no, that's it. They both
agree, but
I say both him and Montez are good wrestlers on their own. But obviously, as a tag team put together, people always notice Ford more because he's a bit more flashy.
Yeah, I feel like with Dawkins as well, he's just got like a little bit more to prove, and it's going to be good for him to get in some singles matches while Montez is out.
Yeah, hopefully he'll get quite a few because this obviously Montez is going to take a while to get better.
Yeah, I think he's done something to his Achilles tendon, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, that is pretty much what it is. For those of you wondering, by the way, if you've noticed the boot he's wearing, that is a gimmick boot. It's not a real medical boot, but he is actually injured. Just to clarify that for anyone who is wondering. So,
if it wasn't a gimmick boot, he wouldn't be walking on it with full weight on it for certain.
Yeah.
So, following that, we had Bobby Lashley versus Mustafa Ali. So here's my problem with the arrangement of those two segments. They should have been the other way around.
Yes.
That one should have been shown to us before the Sikoa versus Dawkins match. It would have made more sense.
They've made a habit of doing this over the last, 3-4 weeks at least, where they keep putting the pre-segments, or I'm guessing they're pre-tapes because they're live, in the wrong order.
Yeah, it has been happening quite often.
So it makes you wonder if somebody actually pays attention to this. Kevin Dunn.
See,
kind of your job.
What I don't understand about this match, Mustafa Ali versus Lashley, the way it felt in that pre-match segment, that was like a pre-match segment because of the bloodline thingy.
Yeah.
This was a non-title match.
Yeah, that bugged me as well. I was like, why is it a non-title match? Is Lashley scared of Ali? What?
I don't think it was the thing. I don't think it was the fact. I don't think it was him being scared. I think it was them not wanting Lashley to look bad on a title defense. But if you was to watch this match and if I was to ask you, do you reckon this is a title worthy match? I'd have said yes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It was a really good match.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't understand why in a title match. Also, it's not like Lashley lost, so what's the problem?
Yeah. I mean, you had Ali giving everything as well, 450 splash to Lashley's arm to try and weaken a limb and get the advantage.
Yeah.
This had everything. I mean, and Ali took fucking everything from Lashley as well. You asked for a put over, Josh, and you asked for a put over job, and Ali delivers.
Well, that's the thing. I think these two both are good opponents for each other because Ali likes dealing with bigger guys. He does very well with it, and Lashley's very good at working with smaller guys. They're both very good at doing this, so not surprised this was decent. So,
and they followed up on the social media side of things as well. They had a bit of a moment backstage where they shook hands and they both posted the same picture saying respect. So it's a nice little touch to the storyline kind of side of things as well. Maybe we might see a tag team here. I don't know. I would be against it.
Well, they are short of a tag team at the moment. Obviously, we kind of just covered that, so it's possible. It wouldn't be the worst idea for them both.
So I've got the run through of the match, but I just
we don't have to definitely go for it. I mean, Lashley won the match. That's pretty much all we need to do with. So we've got a lot to cover. So we're not going to go into graphic detail stuff unless we need to.
Yeah,
it's probably the best way to do it. I think. Plus, it also helps Aaron's voice too. So.
Yeah. After the match, Lashley went to help Ali up and was jumped by Rollins, received a double stomp, and then Rollins stomped Ali on the outside of the ring as well. We then were shown after show footage of Rollins and Riddle fighting last week, and we got a Rollins and Riddle segment that Rollins started after the break. See, what this doesn't make sense for me is he's just stomped the United States champion and he's just stomped Ali.
Mm-hmm.
What's stopping Lashley from getting back up afterwards, because there was a whole ad break through this, and beating the shit out of Rollins? But no, when we came back, Rollins was in the middle of the ring with a microphone, and Lashley and Ali were nowhere to be seen.
They disappeared. Yeah,
the Miz forced last week.
Yeah, I had an issue with that as well. I thought that was bullshit because Lashley would have had an issue with it. Absolutely would have. It's not in his character just to let that shit go. Also, going back to the fact you had Riddle and Rollins fighting and that footage from after the show last week. That's what I mentioned to you, but about on last week's show when we covered it. But you didn't seem to remember it. But that's what this was. They showed you.
Yeah, see, that was after they went off air. That's Michael Cole did allude to it. They went off air.
In certain places where it was viewed, we saw that.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So some people would have seen it, some wouldn't have done. But that's what that footage was for anyone who is confused.
Yeah. Rollins opened up by saying he was hosting the show again, introduced us all to the Fight Pit, said he was going to show he was the most dangerous man in WWE, and called Riddle out, and obviously out Riddle came. He said he was going to kill Rollins, not hurt him, and Rollins said Cormier is a Rollins fan, so I will have his back. Then Rollins started talking about Riddle's kids and wife and all like the negative angles that they've been using.
Yeah.
So Riddle went for Seth's ego, saying he comes up second to everyone, his wife, Roman Reigns, and asked him when his last title shot was, and that pissed off Rollins a bit. But then Cormier interrupted and said he and the world are tired of this rivalry, basically, and told
I agree with him.
And said that he was going to call it down the middle.
Okay, I agree with him. I'm tired of this rivalry too. I agree with him.
I wasn't a big fan of this segment, but it happened, to be honest. And afterwards, Rollins knocked off Riddle's hat and left the ring. I think he was just like trying to get Riddle to break the non-contact clause.
That's exactly what that would have been. Yeah, the idea is to try and tempt the person into doing something they should not. Technically, Rollins broke the contact rule by doing that, though.
Yeah, but the thing was, the clause stated if Riddle broke the clause, the Fight Pit match wasn't happening. If Seth broke the clause, we didn't know the consequences for Seth. So,
but that's the point. Seth is the one who hit the hat. Technically, the hat was on Riddle, so that's still contact.
Well, the stupid thing about this is even after Extreme Rules and Seth not winning said Fight Pit match, spoiler alert, Seth's got a United States Championship match tomorrow.
Yeah. I was going to cover that when we got to that match, but yeah. Basically, you lose the high profile main event of the pay-per-view, and the following day you got a title shot.
I feel like this is because of the fact that Riddle kind of cost him the match last time, if I remember correctly.
The thing is, that doesn't make it okay, because that's chicken shit.
No, I'm not saying it does, but I agree.
No, I understand. I get what you mean. That's probably what the kind of explanation is, but it is bullshit.
Agreed.
If anyone should get a title shot, it should have been Riddle then, because Riddle won the match.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I would be kind of interested to see Riddle versus Lashley.
I mean, we've seen it before for the United States Championship too.
Yeah, I'd rather see that than the bloody Rollins and Lashley.
Yeah. So following this, we had Candice LeRae. She got a hype up little mini backstage segment from Oscar Bliss and Belair. This was then followed by a Miz segment, and Miz didn't even know where Ciampa was either, which I found quite funny. But Loomis was watching behind Miz's back.
Yeah, Ciampa's having some downtime for anyone who's wondering.
Candice LeRae versus Dakota Kai was next.
Yeah. And oh boy, right. Candice has returned. Yay, enjoy, right?
We was looking forward to this match.
Yeah. And then it happened.
Yeah.
To cut a long story short, and I will, Kai won.
Yeah.
So WWE's website says anyway, just to verify.
Yeah. This wasn't exactly the longest of matches either. Kai went for this was basically the match. Kai went for a face wash kick, but got a boot to the face from Candice. Kai came back and went for a superplex, but the Ray turned it into a German suplex from the top rope. Bailey caused a distraction to the ref, and then LeRae got a punch to the stomach by Bailey, and then she was rolled up for the 3 count by Kai.
Yeah. Got nothing against Dakota Kai, but this was bullshit.
Yeah.
It served no purpose to do this. I mean, if you're trying to build up new people to bring to your show to get them up, right? Why have her win one match when she first comes in on the main show, then have her lose the following week? What possible?
See, the thing is, they feel. I think that WWE feels that if they use the numbers game, it's less damaging for a new talent, but that's just not the case. A loss is a loss.
Yeah. It's
following that, we had a Gargano segment, and he found Miz unconscious with a picture on his person. There's a picture of Loomis attending Miz's birthday celebration tomorrow. And Gargano pointed to the picture that Miz was holding. He said, "Oh, that's not good." And then we had Bailey say that she asked for this, meaning Belair. That didn't really make sense, so she picked the ladder match in that segment. And then we had Otis versus Gargano with Gable and Theory ringside.
yeah, and there's another example of something that was complete and utterly stupid.
Yeah, the thing about this was during the Otis and Gargano match, for some reason we had a Gable promo package where he said that he taught Braun Strowman everything he knew and was Strowman's first match in WWE. So he knew all of his weaknesses and would slay him. But then we got the rest of the Otis versus Gargano match.
Yeah.
I feel like this was misplaced. This should have been done before Gable's match.
Yeah. Again, this is another example of them not putting shit in the right order.
Yeah.
Whoever does their formatting needs to fucking sort themselves out because they clearly haven't formatted this properly. Kevin Dunn.
We also had a really annoying Theory on commentary. playing cheerleader, and Gable was ringside too. This was a good match, and Gargano even attacked Theory during it. And then Theory hit Gargano on the spine with the Money in the Bank briefcase and cost him the match. And all three started to beat down Gargano. Strowman came out and scared off Theory, but threw Gable in the ring. The bell started the match, and this was Strowman. This was all Strowman to begin with, but after an ad break, Gable was actually in control, and I was kind of like thrown by this. I was expecting a squash match, but this wasn't a squash match.
The thing is, in some situations, this makes sense. This wasn't one of them. I agree with you. It makes no sense to have this be long and drawn out.
I mean, it wasn't particularly long, but Gable gave as good as he got, in my opinion. This actually felt like a proper match.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of the problem. It shouldn't have been.
I mean,
not from the way the match started. Is my point.
No, and MVP and Omos were watching onwards as well, so it kind of makes you wonder if they put Omos against Gable, is he going to be treated the same way against Omos? I don't think so.
No.
So yeah, Gable lost after a power bomb by Strowman.
Yep.
And we then had a Lashley segment, and Lashley said that he was pissed, he was really angry, and he wanted Rollins after Riddle was done with him at Extreme Rules.
That at least makes sense. It's in character for Lashley.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much all it is. It's
we then had a contract signing segment for the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah, which is the Belair Bailey thing. And while this is going on, the rest of the damaged dum-dums attack Asuka and Bliss.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much what this is. The match was pretty much confirmed anyway. This was just to fill time. It really had no other purpose than to do that.
No.
So, right. So next thing I've after that is the Sikoa Dawkins match, unless you've got something else.
During the Belair and Bailey segment, when Belair managed to get backstage to check on Asuka and Bliss, Bliss was really pissed, and she challenged Io Shirai to a match in the main event.
Which, yeah, again, this is one of those things I have a problem with. Not Bliss challenging her to a match. That I understand.
Yeah.
But this means
that they had no entire...
Yeah.
Before this.
Yeah. And you know I have a problem with shows like that, because it's like you would never promote a show at a venue without a main event. It's retarded. This booking is retarded. Nothing to do with either lady. I like both of them. They're great. This is fucking stupid.
I'm not being funny, but most of this whole card for like the last Raw before Extreme Rules.
Well, they go home, yeah.
This felt like a really relaxed card.
It really been more of a, what do you call it? Level Up, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on Level Up, because Level Up has a certain purpose, and that's what it does. But this is the same sort of laid-back atmosphere that program has. Not the intensity you should have for a pay-per-view where matches have a stipulation where people are going to possibly get hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So this whole match was this next match was Solo Sikoa versus Angelo Dawkins. As Solo had the company of the whole bloodline, minus Reigns, of course, ringside, and Dawkins had a one-footed forward.
You know what to say about one-legged men in an ass-kicking contest, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure we can all guess who won this match, even if you didn't see it. It's kind of obvious. But at the same time, Dawkins, I thought, did pretty well for himself. He put up a good show, which is what he has to do at this point. Even if he loses matches, just put on a good show.
Yeah, they made it so that Zayn caused a distraction and Solo managed to turn it around and get the win from it.
Yeah, we all thought Sikoa was going to win this match anyway. But the important thing here is that they both looked decent. And that's what you want from this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Following this, we had Theory saying that the Academy did well this week and that he had Gargano one-on-one next week.
Question. It seems like a really stupid question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because we know it's WWE. Him and Gargano have got a thing going on, right? Why are they not having a match at the pay-per-view?
I thought the same thing, to be honest.
Maybe I'm just being picky, you know?
They could have used this show to escalate what's already happened.
He hit with a briefcase.
Yeah, get it more amped up. I don't know, put a briefcase on a pole match and just like...
They could have had a match for the briefcase and have it above the ring and a ladder.
Yeah.
Or put it on a pole.
Mm-hmm.
Not hard, really. No. They already did the hard part by getting them into the feud.
Yeah. We then had Edge in a segment telling us he can't quit, won't quit, and that he basically has never quit in his life and that he has to win. This just spelled, oh well, fuck.
It's blatantly also not true as well. So there is that. And that's before the pay-per-view, by the way.
So, following that, we had Bliss versus Io Shirai in the main event. Shirai came out the gate swinging with a brawl more than anything. And no less than 5 minutes later, Bliss was pinned by Io for the win.
Yeah.
Damage Control celebrated and attacked Bliss and Belair with a ladder. Oscar came out to try and even the odds, but the ladder came back to haunt the Empress. And Damage Control stood tall over Bliss, Oscar, and Belair.
Match was too short. 1. 2. Way to make it obvious who's winning the pay-per-view match by doing it this way. And 3. I have a question for Aaron, right? If this isn't booked as the main event, does that mean that Sikoa and Dawkins was the main event originally?
I don't know.
But because think about it, that match, it was okay, but main event, really? Yeah. Also, a 5-minute match as your main event? Nah. I mean, granted, this has been 5-minute matches for main events have been done before, but they generally aren't very good.
Yeah, I gave Raw a 4.
I think justly deserved too. It was not that good.
I mean, I didn't have a problem with any of the wrestling or like, but some of the promos were just all of it was foreshadowing, and the majority
it was all
of
the stupid shit around it. Yeah,
it was just stale, and most of it was in the wrong fucking order.
Yeah, they have formatting issues and they have promo issues. Yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
And I'm really getting bored with the Loomis and Miz thing. Can we just find out what's going on there already, or is this just going to continue until Triple H is bored of it?
Oh, it's going to keep going until Loomis discovers where Miz keeps his lube.
Oh, that's the reason he's jumping him. I thought it was just Johnson's baby oil.
Well, they do keep insinuating the good old butt stuff, so that's all I'm saying. Apparently, the NXT boy, your mate Quincy's getting a bit jealous of them, though.
Yeah.
So, there you go. But speaking of NXT, that's what's next, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
I'm sorry. And the first match I have here is Carmelo Hayes against Oro Mesa.
We also found out that there's going to be new commentary teams on each of the shows.
I was going to get to that after SmackDown, but yeah, we can do it now if you like.
Well, I mean, we got a commentary team this episode of NXT. That's new, but this isn't the one that we're getting, apparently.
No.
So the commentary team for this week's show was Byron Saxton, Sudu Shah, and Stu Bennett, aka Wade Barrett.
Yeah.
The new team that we're getting is Booker T, Byron Saxton, I believe, and Wade Barrett.
No, Byron. Byron's been removed completely, apparently.
Oh.
Mm.
So who are we getting on NXT?
That's the $1 million question. And apparently, Smith is it Jimmy Smith that's still was at Raw?
I don't know.
Because one of the Raw ones is gone. I know that for a fact. He's left.
Oh, the MMA guy.
Yeah, he's gone. He's left. So they've got to have one up for him. So I'm going to look up who's going to be what, but I'm pretty sure Saxton's not commentary. Is out of the commentary teams.
We found out that the pay-per-view team's going to be Michael Cole and Corey Graves from now onwards.
That at least makes sense. They're the two probably most experienced at doing it. I mean, they suck. Well, Corey sucks.
I don't think Michael Cole's getting much better, to be honest, the way he's going.
True, but I still think he's better than Corey. Honestly.
I agree to disagree.
Yeah, well.
Especially after Michael Cole called a blooming... he called something a code red this past week, and it was complete opposite of a code red. I've got it in my notes somewhere, but I can't be asked to look it up.
Okay, I've got it. Here we go. Right. The commentary teams, right, going forward. On SmackDown, it's Michael Cole and Wade Barrett.
Who?
Michael Cole and Wade Barrett.
Oh, right.
SmackDown. Okay. NXT is Samantha. Let's see. Raw. Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves.
Kevin Patrick, yeah.
Yeah. So those are the two main shows.
I know Booker T's on NXT.
Yes, I heard about that one. I'll get to that in a minute. So, but those are the two main shows. I haven't got the NXT one here though. I don't know why. Oh, hang on.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Vic Joseph and Booker T.
Oh God. Oh, okay then.
Pat McAfee's taken a temporary leave from WWE. He's not gone. He's just on leave.
What about Saxton?
Not listed at all. He's not on there.
Wow.
Not fired, just not on there. And for those of you wondering, this might be a fun fact for all of you because some of you may not realise this. Byron Saxton has been with WWE for 13 years.
Yeah,
Commentary.
exactly.
Commentary. I'm on about. I think it kind of sucks. I kind of like Byron, not as a main commentator, but I think it's good to have him there. And not being funny, I'd have him over Booker T every fucking day of the week.
Yeah.
Because having Booker T on NXT is going to be a fucking disaster.
I don't know. He might surprise us.
Nope. Okay, I'm going with nope on that one.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh, I know, but some of us are just like... Because Booker T has trouble remembering how to say words half the time. Why the hell was he doing commentary?
I don't know.
It's one thing when you used to have him as a three-man commentary because you can get away with certain shit, but these are now all going to be two-man commentary teams.
Mm-hmm.
Which means you got Vic Joseph and Booker T trying to do commentary for NXT.
Thing is, as well, with him being NXT, with Vic Joseph, he's going to be a heel commentator because Vic Joseph is as babyface is.
Right.
I can't see that working.
Nah. Honestly, if you need to have a heel commentator, all right, for NXT, and you're not going to use Wade on SmackDown, Nigel McGuinness.
Thank you. But Nigel McGuinness is on leave currently, I believe, from WWE, because he's waiting for the start-up of NXT Europe.
Yeah. But he's sat there doing nothing at the moment. So...
Yeah, I agree.
It's not going to hurt you.
Nah. And I mean, don't even take Booker T off the commentary team. Like, don't just put Nigel McGuinness on that commentary team.
Yeah, have three. There's no reason you can't.
I still stand by like my previous statement though. The biggest mistake NXT and WWE ever made was releasing Mauro Ranallo.
Well, they fucking brought that one on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Both times, I would point out.
Yeah. Because, not going to lie, he was one of the best commentators.
I will go so far as to say he was too good for them.
Yeah. He was like the voice of NXT.
I mean, the man does commentary for all kinds of things, and trust me, he is far too good for fucking WWE. The way they treated that guy is fucking disgraceful.
Yeah. So, fuck you, WWE.
As far as Mauro Ranallo goes, absolutely. The man deserved a much better than what they fucking gave him.
Yeah. So, do we have to talk about this, actually? Just remembered what started the show.
Go to the match.
Which one?
Kamala Hayes defeated Oro Mensah. That's it, done. Von Wagner defeated Andre Chase. Done. There you go.
I was more talking about what kicked off the show with the pretty deadly Commonwealth.
Skip.
It led to the main event though, which was Brooks.
Yeah, we don't care. Skip.
Okay.
We both know you don't like Pretty Deadly anyway, so we'll just skip.
Don't have a problem with that.
I know.
Melo versus Oro Mensah was actually pretty good. Melo won thanks to Trick Williams.
Yeah.
Paul Magna
I think
versus
it's-
Andre Chase.
Yeah.
Ladder match qualifier, as you said, Chase lost.
Yeah. Which I personally preferred he'd won this, honestly, at the two of them. So this is also.
So Wesley attacked Mello because he was on commentary.
Yeah.
Following that, Sanga and Fraser had a good segment. And Sanga said that he was backing Fraser to win the whole thing. And then Sanga's old tag partner arrived at NXT, Veer Mahan.
Mm.
And the segment finished there. There was no conversation between the two of them. They just looked at each other.
Yeah.
Then we had Lash Legend in a pre-match segment that was okay. We then had a red hooded guy. We had the red hooded guy who's been hanging around Schism, handing out smiley face badges, and then Waller turned up and addressed the security team, telling them to keep Apollo Crews away from him.
Fascinating.
Yeah, this then led to Wendy Chu versus Lash Legend.
Yay!
Before the bell, Legend hit Chu, and that got him angry. And then the match started. Legend got control early with a pendulum backbreaker outside the ring. Chu fought back and targeted Legend's legs. And after taking Legend's leg out and hitting an inverted splash off the top rope, Chu got the victory.
Yay!
This was a good match, but it was only 10 minutes long. Probably less.
It was less. You know me. I'd be perfectly fine if this was 20 minutes. Because that's just me. But
Yeah.
As everyone who watches this show is very much aware of, I like Wendy Chu.
Then we had an interview with Wesley that was okay. Didn't really.
I think pointless is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. He basically wanted revenge, and he got approached by Stax because of how Tony D got injured last week in a match with him, even though it wasn't his fault.
Yeah, well, they've got to do something to cover up that crap. That's pretty much how that works.
Basically, Stax told him that he was going to pay for what he did.
Yeah, that is literally with the matches. When somebody gets injured like that and it's not meant to have happened, then they have to think of some way to cover it. Think of something to do. So what happens in those situations is they'll find someone who can end up being, step in for him to do that, because this was more likely meant to go on for a while. But if he's going to be injured for a bit, which may be the case, this could be what this is for.
Yeah. We then had a really nice Gallus segment, which was them telling us that they'd be back after their suspension was over.
And being arrested.
Yeah, but the thing was, there was no mention of them being arrested.
That's why I brought it up.
They literally just said that they've been suspended. There was no charges or anything.
That's why I brought it up.
This was stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Hence the reason I brought it up.
They also stated that they'd be going for the gold when they got back.
Well, what would you expect them to do? Would be my response to that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, how to say stupid shit.
So then we had JC Jane and Gigi Dolan versus Zoe Stark and Nikita Lyons. But before that, we was told that we had that next, and then we got given a Chance and Carter package about their journey, and it finished with them saying whoever won the next match, they'd be ready to beat them. And then we finally got the match.
Oh, joy.
Gigi was taped up after Alba Fire's attack on them in the car park, which he was shown just before the match as well.
Yeah, she's fine. By the way, it's storyline stuff.
Yeah, Mandy Rose was also kidnapped, and we still don't know about her whereabouts. But also storyline.
I do. I know where she is.
I know that she wasn't at NXT this week.
Yeah, as I said, I know where she is. But anyway,
Alba was in an empty car. She kidnapped an empty car.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, this is good. At least there was a reason for the 6-woman tag being cancelled. Yeah. And they made this a number 1 contendership for the tag titles as well. So it made sense as well.
Okay. Just to be very clear.
Lost this match.
Yeah, I'll be very clear. There is a reason I'm not elaborating on the Mandy Rose thing, because I know and I'm not saying.
No.
Okay, it's as simple as that.
Personal
it's not anyone else's business. Put it that way.
Yeah, it's personal.
Yeah. I just happen to know someone who happens to know stuff. That's it.
Uh-huh.
So, but I figured this would come up on the show, so I at least wanted to have a degree of a response as to why. But yeah, it's interesting. Toxic Attraction lost this match, though.
Not gonna lie, they didn't look like themselves from the start of the match, really, without Mandy there.
Yeah.
Looked like their heads were elsewhere.
I think that's very intentional.
Yeah. But it's kind of damaging, really, isn't it?
Very. Because they've lost to I would call a makeshift team, not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, they've been tagging for a little while now, but yeah, I still call them makeshift at this point. They're not an established team.
Yeah, I mean, they don't even have an actual team name, for example.
Yeah.
So, but I don't mind Stokes and I don't mind Lyons and Stark though. I think they're a decent team. That's the thing. They just need to. They just need more experience, particularly in Lyons' case, because Lyons has got very little experience, full stop. But she's pretty decent for what she is, though.
Yeah. We then got a segment by Ilya Dragunov, and it's safe to say that he's emotionally invested in the triple threat match at Havoc that's going to be happening.
Why is that, then?
Well, the whole segment included everything that's happened to him since NXT UK and whatnot, and why he wanted to be in like this kind of match and why he wanted to go for the title and all sorts of that. There's quite a lot of emotional footage and crap.
Yeah, that actually brings up a point I'm going to bring up to a few people who may not be aware of this, by the way. This week's NXT has got some competition.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure I've got my dates right, but this week's Dynamite's on a Tuesday.
Cool.
So they're going to go ahead. So they're going to be on the same for all of you American fans. They're going to be on exactly the same time.
Which one are you VHR recording?
I have the AW Plus thing on Fight, so what do you reckon I'm watching? So, but I figured it's worth mentioning to those who do watch such things, because that will probably affect the amount of people who watch.
Yeah.
Also, you may find they might put in a bit more of an effort, meaning NXT, because of this.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, if anyone who's watching also watches AEW like ourselves, I think it was worth mentioning the fact that, that Dynamite is Tuesday, not Wednesday this week.
Uh-huh. So, next we had the Grayson Waller effect with special guests Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez.
Essentially, this was an excuse to determine the stipulation of a match.
Yeah, and this felt like it was going to explode, like, straight off the bat, and this was a hype up for a rematch between the two. Waller kept getting interrupted, so this was kind of funny as well. But this was basically a reaction show showcasing Waller's reaction to these two ladies slagging each other off as much as they could.
And it bored the living crap out of me.
I mean, it wasn't all bad. I mean, in 2 weeks, we found out that they get to pick each other's opponents in a match, and the whole roster is fair game as well. So anybody from Raw, SmackDown, or NXT.
I should probably explain what I mean by I found it boring. I found us having to watch Waller's reaction to them talking boring. They have a problem doing that shit to each other.
Yeah.
You don't need Waller here.
No, not really. Then he told them their match at Halloween Havoc was a spin the wheel, make a deal match. And of course, Waller wanted the spotlight because it was his show, so he went up to spin the wheel. There was a hooded figure next to the wheel, and he thought it was Apollo Crews. He lifted up the hood, and it wasn't, so he spun it. And we found out that it was a Weapons Wild match, whatever the fuck that is.
It's a made-up match. It doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, it broke down in the ring, and Apollo took Waller under the ring, and then when he came back out, his eyes were bloody, just like Apollo's vision from last week.
Yeah.
Say bloody, but like big emphasis on the bloody because it wasn't really blood.
No, of course it wasn't. I'm so shocked.
Then we had the red hooded guy being told off by Schism for handing out badges, and they were literally like shouting at him. I guess he said they were disappointed. What followed that was Julius Creed versus Duke Hudson. Julius dominated and got the win in 3 minutes or less. Then Brutus came out and attacked Hudson, and Kemp said Halloween Havoc, it was going to be different. And Kemp said if Julius loses, Brutus is gone from NXT, and Brutus accepted on behalf of his brother.
Dumbass.
Yeah, and not only that, after he accepted, Julius said he wanted Kemp in an ambulance match. So this is going to be the first ever ambulance match in NXT history.
And I fucking hate ambulance matches. I think they're stupid.
Yeah, same.
So, because the thing is, with a lot of stipulation matches, the premise is stupid, but you can make them work. The ambulance ones are retarded because literally, it's like you got to beat them down to throw them into the back of the ambulance and shut the door. That's pretty much the rules of the match.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, it's like, what? Why?
Yeah.
It's not like you've even got to pin or submit anyone. You literally just have to throw them in the back of the door.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like these kind of matches. They suck. Some of you may disagree with me. That's absolutely fine. Just my opinion.
Following this, we had a Devlin or JD Madonna promo package that was good, and he basically spelled out his game plan for the triple threat match.
Dumbass.
This was like does he realize what he's doing, kind of thing? You're just like,
Yeah. There's two things. One, it comes across as him being either a dumbass, or they're trying to make him look cerebral by trying to tell people he's going to do it this way, but he's not going to do it that way.
or it's just plain arrogance.
No, that falls under dumbass.
Yeah. Then we had a security party of sorts and found out that Hank is now a contracted WWE superstar. And he also had a match next with Zion Quinn. Quincy Elliott gave him a warning before he left for his match, told him that he'd pissed Quinn off the week beforehand. What followed this, though, was a promo package by Axiom for the final stage of this best out of 3 match. It was actually a really good promo package, just in the wrong place again.
Yeah. Swap them around or have it after the match.
So this was Hank Walker versus Zion Quinn. Barrett didn't like Walker for not having ring gear. A nice effort, but Quinn got the win. Quinn went to attack Walker after the match and was stopped by Quincy Elliott. Zion left and Quincy slapped Hank Walker's ass. He started dancing.
As you can all tell, Aaron loved this part.
I didn't hate it, but it was just kind of like necessary.
No, it was not necessary.
And why did Zion just leave when Quincy showed up? He's not that like intimidating. I know he's a big dude, but if you're
he's not
badass,
he's not intimidating.
No,
you just can't take. But you can't take him seriously either.
No, it's just like if you're supposed to be a badass like Quinn is, why the fuck would you walk away from Quincy?
Maybe he was just walking away laughing his ass off, and he couldn't focus on actually fighting. He was too busy laughing.
Maybe he wants to start a tag team called Q and Q.
Oh my god!
Quincy and Quinn.
Oh, please don't tell WWE that. I'll probably fucking do it.
So,
sorry. Or they called them the Q Boys.
Yeah, sure. Go with that.
You know, really make it really dodgy. Because it's Q Boys with a Z.
Yeah.
As you can all tell, Aaron hates this idea.
So then Grimes had a segment having a go at the red hooded person who's been hanging around the schism, telling them that he didn't have to hang with them. But then he was jumped by the Dyad and Gacy, and it turned out it was all a trap. The red hood was accepted into the schism, but we still don't know who the red hooded guy is yet.
It's an extra at the moment.
Yeah.
Just to be clear. The person currently underneath there isn't necessarily going to be the person you'll get at the end.
No. They only had a Brawling Brutes segment where they were approached by the tag team division, claiming they wanted them after they had won the titles off of Pretty Deadly. And this was good. They said they want aggression from Briggs and Jensen and told Malik and Idris to get serious. But at the same time, this spelled a loss for them in the main event, in my opinion.
The problem with this match is I didn't give a shit.
No. Following that, we had their entrance, the Brawling Brutes' entrance, and then an interview with Bron Breakker, and it was interrupted by Big Body Hobby, whose mouth landed him in a match with Bron Breakker next week to kick off the new season of NXT.
Another example of something in the wrong bloody place.
Yep. So then we went back to the ring and Pretty Deadly had that entrance. And yeah, there's the NXT tag title match between the Brutes and Pretty Deadly.
Yeah.
And Pretty Deadly won.
Yeah.
Pretty Deadly have got a new tag move in their arsenal, which is kind of like a silly string long blower. Not seen it before. It was pretty cool, to be fair.
It's a move that's been done by Private Party, for those of you who watch AEW, but it's not a common move.
Yeah. So I've seen the silly string technique used before by luchadors, but like, I've never seen it go into a lung blower before. It's quite innovative.
Yeah, as I said, the only team I've ever seen do it before is Private Party, and they don't even do it. They don't do it often either, but they have done it. So.
Yeah.
The silly string is something they do all the time, but not always with the lung blower part. So for yes, I've not seen a WWE team use it before. Put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Imperium cost the Brutes the match.
Of course it did.
And then Pretty Deadly came out on top. Briggs and Jensen and Idris and Onofre came out after the match, and there was a stare down between the three teams over the tag titles, which I didn't feel really made sense because there's no motivation for any of the teams in the division right now.
That's right, there isn't.
It's a very stale, dead in the water tag team division right now.
Pretty much like every WWE tag team division.
Yeah. Wait, who's the tag team champions again?
For which brand?
Well, I know Pretty Deadly's NXT.
Usos.
Oh, yeah.
They got both belts.
Yeah, I forgot.
And that's kind of the problem right there.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't remember who it is, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
So I can, example off the top of my head, I can tell you the current IWGP, AAA, and Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions.
I can tell you them too.
I can tell you who AEW's Tag Team Champions are.
Can you tell me who the TNA tag team champions are?
TNA technically doesn't exist anymore, so there's that. That would be an issue. So that would be kind of difficult.
What? You out?
For anyone wondering, those last three, apart before Aaron popped up with TNA, it's the same team holds all three belts. So, and for those of you who are only WWE fans, you'll be familiar with the team, you just not with the name they use now.
No, the funny thing about it is, even though they've held those three belts, they still make it entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
And they wrestle in all three promotions as well.
Yeah, regularly.
So they make it work. Whereas the Usos, they wrestle on SmackDown from time to time.
Yeah. Bear in mind, they hold three belts which belong in three different countries, yet they still can make it happen. All the Usos got to do is defend it within the same country on two different shows. You'd think this would be simple.
Yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you?
I would, yeah. Hell, I mean, then of course you got, if you want to do a direct comparison, the AEW Tag Team Champions. Those titles get defended regularly. Can you tell me who the current AEW Tag Team Champions are? I just want to give you an excuse to do that, honestly. So. Not that way.
For anybody who doesn't know, the Acclaimed.
Yeah. And Aaron's daddy ass.
No, I'm not. I'm not 6'4". Built like a brick shit house. And an XDX member.
And you're not fighting Swerve Strickland next. You're also not fighting Swerve Strickland next either.
No. It should be an interesting match, to be honest.
I am quite curious to see it, to be honest. So.
I doubt it's going to be clean, but
not in the slightest.
No, it's going to be as dirty gets.
Yeah, but there you go. But obviously, that was the end of NXT, by the way, just so anyone didn't realise. So,
I gave it a 5.
I think that's fair. I think it was better than Raw, but it wasn't great.
Like, granted that they didn't have a takeover. They didn't have a takeover at the weekend. So it wasn't like a go-home NXT or anything like that.
Right.
But it still stunk.
Yeah, but it's still better than Raw. That's the thing.
Yeah, but only 1 point.
Hey, 1 point's 1 point.
It's the first time that's been like that close to each other for a while. I mean, like the previous weeks, NXT's been doing the same about Raw and SmackDown, but
yeah,
this has just been this week on a whole for WWE. What the fuck? So I expected there to be more problems last week with everything that happened in Florida.
Yeah, with Hurricane Ian, yeah.
Yeah. Not this week.
Mm.
So a week removed from Hurricane Ian. Like, I would have thought, oh, okay, maybe it's going to pick back up. We'll watch this week's.
Yeah. Well, speaking of problems, here comes SmackDown.
You're going to hate me for saying this, but SmackDown was the best show this week in WWE.
I would say probably the pay-per-view was better, but okay.
I wasn't including pay-per-view. I was including the free brand shows.
Oh, then, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. It got a 6 from me. I was just going to say it before because I'll probably end up forgetting.
No, I can see why, to be fair. There was some interesting stuff on this show.
The weird thing was, the show was opened by Triple H.
Yes, I noticed that too.
Do you think he got his days mixed up and he thought it was Monday?
No, because technically SmackDown's now the flagship show because it's on Fox.
Yeah, but DX is supposed to be on the show on Monday. Do you think he turned up on the wrong day? I thought, oh fuck, might as well make an appearance.
He's normally at the shows anyway, so I don't think that actually really matters too much to him.
Well, I feel like he kind of made an appearance here because he made an appearance at the press conference that would kind of had something to do with the opening of this week's show.
Which is exactly why I think he was here, yeah. Why he appeared on the show, I mean.
Because during the press conference, he broke up the conflict between Roman and Logan Paul. When Roman shoved Logan Paul at the press conference, he actually intervened in between the two of them.
Yeah.
But he stood in the middle of the ring, said there'll be a time when you think things are over, but that is just the beginning, and then welcomed everyone to SmackDown.
Yeah.
So he's a philosopher now?
Yeah, apparently so. He's gone from telling people to suck it to being Confucius, apparently.
Yeah. So after he said that, the Bloodline came out.
I would hope so, considering Solo Sikoa had a match.
Yeah, we found out Bad News Barrett was Cole's new announced partner too on Fridays.
I got to say, I'm not opposed to that, honestly.
No, I like this. I said that we needed an actual wrestler on the commentary team on SmackDown.
Yeah. And Wade's probably one of the best you can do that's doing commentary.
Yeah.
To do this kind of thing. So, short of having Nigel McGuinness, of course.
Yeah. So Reigns did his acknowledge me thing, and then Logan Paul interrupted and then stood on the apron. Roman said, "Oh, you're scared," and invited Logan Paul into the ring. Paul got asked to spot, and Paul Heyman was asked to smarten the kid up. So Heyman basically said Logan Paul was this generation's Mr. T or Cyndi Lauper or male Kardashian. Then said that Jordan Peterson doesn't have the balls to fight Roman Reigns, and then mentioned Ben Shapiro. They said he didn't have the balls either. And then Andrew Tate was brought up too, and he said that he didn't have the balls to fight Roman Reigns either. But then he said Mr. Big Balls himself, Logan Paul, was their only option. So basically Paul Heyman was just burying Logan where he stood. Well, trying to.
This whole speech was fucking stupid.
Yeah. The best thing about it.
Normally Heyman's better than that, but this was stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like this, but the thing I did like, Logan Paul turned around and asked Heyman if he could ask him a question, and Heyman said sure, and basically left himself wide open for it. He said, which Reigns was going to smash him at Crown Jewel? Was it going to be the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, or was it going to be the Tribal Chief Jey Uso? And obviously, Roman Reigns turned around and faced Jey Uso. But luckily for Jey, apparently, Sami Zayn intervened. And
Roman likes Sami at the present, don't they? So they're shirt buddies, or whatever the fuck you call it.
Yeah. So Sami intervened and put all of the focus back on Logan Paul. And Jey and Roman hugged it out. And to be honest, Sami's input was actually really good in this. I liked this segment, how it worked. Apart from the Heyman shit.
Honestly, you're right. Sami is the best thing about this entire segment. And never, ever do another speech like that one Heyman did, because it's fucking stupid. And also, half of those people he mentioned, they clearly have no fucking idea that what these people actually do. So don't mention them.
Yeah.
Because you look fucking retarded, because you're making comparisons to shit that don't actually compare to those. Some of those people compared to Logan, it's a fucking joke, because Logan is nowhere near the sort of level those people are. And that's for Andrew Tate. Don't fucking mention him at all. That shit's going to get you in trouble.
I'm not sure
if you don't know who Andrew Tate is, I'll tell you later, and you'll understand why you probably shouldn't mention him.
I think I have an idea, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. There's basically of what I would avoid doing anything to with Andrew Tate for a whole bunch of reasons.
Yeah.
So, but the rest of it just made him look like a dumbass, because he had clearly no idea who these people actually are.
Yeah.
And not being funny, some of those people compared to Logan Paul, if you're going to do it for like social media wise, is a joke, because most of those people have much bigger followings and much better. Not people know those people much better than they know Logan Paul.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes him look like a cheap knockoff, which, whatever the case may be, you are damaging your match you're trying to promote by making him look less than.
Yeah.
You're supposed to try and make him look like a important opponent to Roman, not rubbish. Because if he ends up beating Roman, not that that's going to happen, but if he did end up beating Roman, you're making Roman look shit by saying that. And you're also making me not care to actually give a crap to watch this match because you're telling me that Logan Paul ain't worth shit.
Mm-hmm.
Great promotion. Well done.
Yeah, agreed.
But all credit to Sammy, though. Sammy did great here.
Yeah, Sammy actually saved this segment.
I would agree with that.
And of course, this led to Solo Sikoa versus Ricochet.
Something actually good came out of this other than Sammy.
Yeah.
Because it's always fun to watch Ricochet in a match, and Sikoa's quite decent too, so that helps as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Not the first time these two have also had a
good
match.
showing. Yeah, it's a good showing from both of them. Sikoa struggled to get a standing early on due to Ricochet's quickness, but he eventually managed to slow the pace right down until Ricochet got momentum back. But Ricochet was one step too slow. Sikoa ended up getting the win. With a spinning solo, I think they're calling it. I've forgotten.
It's that weird side thingy.
Spinning Uranagi.
Yeah.
We then got a backstage peek into the Bloodline locker room. Sammy was getting shouted at by Jey Uso because he said he liked tagging with Sikoa and that he'd kind of taken Sikoa under his wing since he came to SmackDown.
And what's wrong with that?
Well, Jey didn't like it because he said that's his blood. That's his little brother. And Sammy said, "Stop shouting at me. You're such a hothead." And Jey got up, flipped off, and said if he called him a hothead again, he'd get him. And Reigns looked at Jey and said, "You are a hothead."
Yeah, proving Sammy's point.
He said he didn't want it. He said he didn't want Jey to be his problem anymore. So from now on, Jey Uso was Sammy's problem. So this has led to Sammy now being captioned as the manager for the Usos.
Yeah, I like that development because it builds upon what's currently going on. I do like that.
The problem is they didn't explain this. It's just been added to the writing side of the story.
No, I agree. You kind of need to show. You do need to show, not just tell with stuff. So I do agree.
You turn around and say, Roman turn around and saying, I don't want you to be my problem anymore. You're now Sammy's problem. It's just like, what does he mean by that?
Is he adopting them? What? Yeah, that's exactly it. You kind of need to explain. You need to show people, not just say abstract things and let people try and work out for themselves. Because I hate to break it to you, not everyone is smart.
So following this, we had the Hit Row pre-segment, which was really weird because as soon as that segment was over, we had another Bloodline segment where Sammy was apologizing to the Usos because he didn't mean any arguments to happen. But then New Day interrupted the Bloodline and aggravated the Bloodline, and Sammy challenged them to a 6-man tag if they could find a tag team partner.
And they did find a tag team partner.
Yeah. As Xavier Woods said as he left, that's okay. We won't struggle to find a partner. Everybody loves us.
Which is probably true, yeah. What's a shame, though, the only shame about this, before you go any further, It would have been really great if it had been a chance for Big E to come back. But obviously, Big E's still on the shelf. But yeah.
Yeah.
But the team, those two guys are never going to have trouble finding a partner. They could go into the bloody audience and get people. It wouldn't be difficult.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Kevin Owens team up with them again.
Oh God.
I mean, I know that like they had their thing while Kofi was WWE champion and everything, but
they did, yeah.
Even though like he turned on them, it worked.
It wouldn't be the worst idea, honestly. I've heard of weirder ideas.
And I mean, Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn, anybody's up for that.
That also does add to this too, for that exact reason, because it's also the bloodline in Owens, and Owens has history with them too, so it's not the worst idea either. Yeah. Saying that, I do like who they actually got.
Yeah,
we will get to that.
So this then led to Hit Row in another segment, who came out to the ring, and Barrett was excited because he thought it was going to be one of them sermons where they do like a little rap segment. But no, they got jumped by 3 masked individuals and a newly blonde Selena Vega.
Yep, and the masked individuals were
Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah, so just a quick go back to the previous things though. Yeah, more formatting problems. They put them in the wrong bloody order.
Yeah, and I'm going out on a limb here, but wig?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
That wasn't a wig?
Nope.
Yikes. It looked like one.
It might be temporary, but it's not a wig, from what I have been told.
Okay. But I have 2 other things. One, where the fuck's Lopez? Elektra Lopez.
Uh-huh.
And 2, Escobar's promo. This is our place now. Be safe. Be safe. The fuck?
Yeah.
I've heard a mic drop, but this sounded like a mic flop.
Honestly, this whole section
was shit.
Should not have been in the show. Yeah, it was complete and utter shit. Yeah. Only thing I liked about this is the fact we got to see Zelina Vega.
I didn't even like that.
No, but it was nice to see her back at least. You know, that she's all right and she's doing well. Obviously, with everything that's been going on lately in the household there, it's good to see that she is actually still all right to do stuff.
Sure.
Also, she hadn't been on telly for a while, so it was nice to see her.
Sure.
Also, it was something different, which she hadn't been doing before. So again, at least it's something different.
What, managing another faction?
I'm not saying it's necessarily good. We don't know that yet, but at least it's something.
Mm.
And as for Lopez, I think you've got a pretty good idea. It's like, yeah, that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming it's a case of they just don't want them around together, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe she'll appear on Raw this week. Mm-hmm. New debut.
Possibly. It's hard to know, but yeah, that's what happened there anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Rodriguez and Shotzi versus Xia Li and Sonya Deville.
Yeah. Oh, Oh, who can guess who won? Ooh.
I don't remember, and I'm not really sure that I care.
It was Rodriguez and Schultz.
Yeah. I remember why there was a reason I didn't care.
Yeah. This tag match was a bit weird considering it's two teams made up of basically individuals. It was like, why? Considering Raquel's been teaming with Aliyah and Deville's been doing her own thing and Xia Li's been God knows what, so this made no sense whatsoever.
This was a 4-minute match as well.
Yes, it was. For a tag matches at a minimum need to be at least 10 minutes, generally for them to be anything. So, yeah, this weren't good at all. Not the fault of the 4 people in the match, it's just badly done.
To top it off, we then had a promo package about Ronda versus Liv Morgan. After that, it lasted about the same time as the match did, if memory serves me correctly.
Yes, pretty close, yeah.
Then had an IC title Twitter spamming segment, hyping up the main event, which was Walter versus Sheamus.
Yes.
Then a Karrion Kross entrance where he actually came out to the ring, and it was actually the full entrance that he used to do in NXT minus the smoke in the ring that he used to have. So I don't know why they're not doing that. It looked a lot better when they did it. At the end of his entrance, though, McIntyre stood up from behind him. It would have looked a lot better if the smoke would have been in the ring for this segment as well.
Yeah.
Kross felt McIntyre's presence, turned round. McIntyre jumped Kross. Security intervened and tried to get McIntyre out of the ring, but
No show.
Sorry.
All right.
The stupid thing about this, the security got McIntyre out of the ring, but they didn't bother with Kross. So when McIntyre attacked the security and laid out security, Kross took advantage and whipped the shit out of McIntyre and left McIntyre laying.
Yeah. This was stupid.
So we never really found out why he came out to the ring in the first place either. There was no segment afterwards. There was no talking. He just left.
Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah.
Also, doesn't really promote the match they're going to have either, which is the worst part of that. It's like, this did nothing.
Yeah. We then had a Viking-esque segment teasing a Miss Rowan return. I can't remember her name. Sarah Morgan?
Sarah Logan.
Logan, yeah. Which is good. We've been looking out for her return for a little while. And then there's another return we've kind of been dreading but half expecting. Charlotte Flair.
You still probably got a bit of a wait for that. That's all I understand.
Not if Extreme Rules was anything to say about it. Because there was a little bit of a peep.
I know what that did, but I've heard otherwise.
Oh yeah, I have too, but we know that WWE...
Especially after what happened on with other things, shall we say.
Yeah. So finally, we had Sami Zayn and the Usos versus New Day, and the tag team partner that they had so much like trauma trying to find in Braun Strowman.
Yeah. Out of all the talent that were available to do this is probably the best one you can pick, honestly.
It was a good match, and the Bloodlines arguments caused them their own downfall.
Yeah. Also, Braun has a history of Sammy too, so that's another thing here.
Yep. And there's something else that happened after this. We had Max Dupree jumped Maximum Male Models again. And Maxine said, "Max, what are you doing?" And he said, "Don't call me that name. My name is L.A. Knight."
No, it's not. It's Eli Drake. Dummy!
So we got the confirmation of the return of L.A. Knight, which is cool.
You say that?
I say that.
You say that, don't you? You say that's cool.
Well, I mean, I prefer Eli Knight to the Max Dupree bullshit that's been happening.
There ain't that big a difference, honestly.
I'm not a fan of the whole modelling shtick.
Oh, and you're such a good model.
Yeah, totally.
You just did a great impression of Max Dupree, by the way.
Oh, my nose is more blocked than his Instagram feed.
Yay!
So,
hashtag algorithms suck. Anyway,
this was a setup for Mansoor versus LA Knight next week. We then got a recap of the Walter and Sheamus rivalry. And finally, Sheamus versus Walter in an IC title match. Both men sent their stable mates to the back at the start of the match. And then when it went to break, we had a White Rabbit video kind of thing that said, "Tomorrow night, nutrir la testa, alimentará el cerebro, futur unef kopfe, nourish tote, feed your head." And I didn't have a foggiest what this was about.
It's Latin.
Yeah.
Basically, it's telling you something's going to happen Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got that from
to
the
put
day.
it simply. There's more to it than that, but yeah.
See, I was expecting a new face or possibly the return of somebody on Saturday, and well, spoiler alert, someone did come back.
Yeah, they did. And it was stupidly long match for no reason, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. So then we had the rest of the match, and it was great up until Imperium and the Brutes came back out. The Brutes had a shillelagh, and one ended up in the ring, and Walter used it to retain in the last 30 seconds of the show. Walter was literally stood up in the center of the ring holding up his title while the Imperium were beating up the Brutes. And for anybody who says that Walter tapped out in this match, he didn't. He tapped twice. For a tap to count, you have to tap 3 times, and it has to be a clear, decisive manner. And it can either be on yourself, the person who has you in the submission, or on the mat.
I never thought he tapped out.
No, there's been some people that have been like, "Oh, he tapped out," because Walter actually tapped the mat twice.
Yeah, and I would say to those people, right?
And it was
Watch lots of wrestling matches. Wrestlers do that all the time. It does not mean they're quitting. As
Well,
Aaron rightly points out, if you're going to tap out, it's normally like this. It's always rapid hand movements. It's never just 1, 2, 1, like that was. If you're going to tap out, it's always usually very quick.
Yeah.
Because if you're in pain, you ain't doing shit slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the whole point of tap out. Basically, if you've ever watched an MMA fight, that's tapping out.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, no MMA fighter, if they're tapping out, is doing this.
No.
And the whole idea of wrestlers tapping out comes from that, essentially. So, yeah. But yeah, that was the end of SmackDown. Aaron's already given us the rating, which I think is a fair rating for it. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
That brings us to the pay-per-view. Extreme Rules.
And to kickstart the show, we had a weird spelling bee introduction. That was literally Paul Heyman standing in front of a child asking him to spell extreme, and the kid asked him to use it in a sentence, asked him to tell him the definition, and then finally managed to spell it.
Well, Heyman managed to spell extreme. Okay.
It was just weird. I didn't understand why there had to be a spelling bee intro to this Extreme Rules thing. What was it? An extreme spelling bee?
Yeah, if he spelled it wrong, Heyman hits him with a chair.
I mean, apparently if he didn't spell it right, then he wasn't going to be allowed to watch the pay-per-view. And I was just like, well, okay, if you can't spell extreme, then I don't think you're allowed to watch it.
Cool. Can I fail the spelling bee and not have to watch this then?
I mean, you and I both know it's a bit too late for that.
I know, but I can hope.
So,
but obviously, Heyman's always used, if he's around for these sort of things, they always try to get him in them because obviously the whole ECW thing.
Yeah.
But our kickoff match for the show kind of leads on from the end of SmackDown, really.
Yeah.
And this was the pub brawl fight stipulation.
Mm-hmm.
So
the Donnybrook match.
There you go.
Donnybrook match.
That's what I was trying to remember. Yeah. So this is the Brawling Brutes against Imperium.
And the entrances were interrupted by the White Rabbit graphic thing again, and then it disappeared again, and the match was great start to the show, to be honest, in my opinion.
I think this is the best match to have had to start this, because the kind of match it was. It's a 6-man with essentially anything goes.
Mm-hmm.
And these two teams, I think these two factions work very well with this kind of stipulation as well.
Yeah. I mean, Imperium dominated the majority of it, which surprised me.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of chaos and a lot of back and forth, but the Brutes won in the end.
And I think that's probably why Imperium dominated a lot of this match, because of who ended up winning.
Yeah. Following that, we then had a Miz segment with Miz meeting Gritty, the Philadelphia Flyers mascot, I believe.
It is, yeah.
And he wasn't nice to Gritty, even though Gritty offered him a free T-shirt.
Well, Miz is a douche, so yeah, you expect that from Miz.
This was followed by Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan for the SmackDown Women's Championship in an Extreme Rules match. The only Extreme Rules match of this entire pay-per-view, might I add.
Yeah, which to me is always a weird one, because you've got the Extreme Rules match is the second match on the show. Sure, the Extreme Rules match should be the main event.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But also, this match didn't really do it for me, to be honest.
No,
It didn't feel good enough.
yeah, here's the thing about this match, right? I was trying to give you the idea that Liv Morgan enjoyed the pain, right? She got off on it kind of thing, which I think is a bit weird for her as a character, honestly.
It was kind of like a Harley Quinn vibe about it.
Which, considering you got Alexa Bliss on this roster, and, you know,
Yeah.
it was a bit weird.
Thing.
Liv Morgan, she's good for what she does, but she's not that kind of a character, honestly. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, this was another back and forth match. Thankfully, not a 5-minute match.
No, this got some time, which was good.
Yeah. Michael Cole called a sideward codebreaker Code Red.
Yeah, and if anyone doesn't know the difference, put it into your Google or YouTube machine, and you'll understand why that's a very stupid comment.
A Code Red is basically a standing sunset flip powerbomb, whereas the sideways codebreaker is double knees to the face from a sideways perspective. That's
jumping double knees to the yeah. So they look very different. Basically, is our point.
Yeah. So
yay!
Liv Morgan put Ronda through a table, and Ronda turned it into a armbar, then a triangle, and then finally a submission I've not actually seen before, a bicep crusher of sorts. But the bad part about this, Ronda was practically sat on Liv's face on national television.
I don't know why you've put in that face. I don't have an issue with that.
I don't know. It just doesn't exactly look great, does it?
Oh, I don't have an issue with that. They're consenting adults. It's fine.
But the main thing from this match,
okay. In all seriousness, though, right? Okay, with moves like certain wrestling moves, you just go into a position where it looks dodgy as fuck. It's just how it goes, and there's nothing to it. That's just how the move's done.
The only thing that bothered me about this, Liv didn't tap.
Nope.
This is an Extreme Rules match. The only way to win is by tap out or pinfall. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, she passed out. She wasn't able to tap. She wasn't able to tap. She didn't tap. So this is going to continue on.
Right. I'm going to clarify this for you then. It's classed as a technical submission, which counts as a tap out.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a very easy way for Liv to come back at her going, I didn't quit, because technically she didn't.
Yeah.
But for those of you who don't understand what a technical submission is, it's when the referee stops it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a ref stoppage because it's not because the referee's seen like an injury or something. This is a technical submission where the referee deems you cannot defend yourself or compete as a result of a move the opponent is doing to you. Because there's different versions of a referee stopping a match, and this is one of those. This is why it's classed as a technical submission, because it's still a submission, but the referee's deemed it as such. So it's a bit different. As opposed to there being a blatant...
Yeah.
One of those.
Clapping cheeks. So following that...
You're getting back to Ronda sitting on her face again.
No. We had Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a strap match next.
Yay! We're talking about people sitting on faces again.
This match didn't start for a little while as Kross refused to put the strap on. No, strap on. Yikes. I knew I was going to fuck up on that. Kross wouldn't put the strap on his wrist, and this led to a brawl throughout the crowd. And then the ringside area.
Aaron, dude. Yeah. Aren't you lucky you didn't, say that Scarlett Bordeaux had trouble putting the strap on him?
Yeah, that's true. For that, check out Scarlett's OnlyFans. Anyway.
Yay, Scarlett! Oh yeah. Speaking of which, Scarlett
No,
Bordeaux.
Nah.
Yes.
I was gonna add. I've got that.
Go,
I've
go,
worked it
go
in
then. Go, 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 go.
So Cross wouldn't put the strap on his wrist, and this led to a brawl outside the crowd, and then the ringside area, and McIntyre incapacitated Cross and put the strap on Cross's wrist. Scarlett, who needs to wrestle, by the way, got in McIntyre's face, and Cross took advantage and injured Drew's right arm using the ring post, and Cross just dominated afterwards. He got a bit whip happy, and it cost him because McIntyre got back in the match. As Drew went to hit the Claymore, Scarlett stood in the way. Scarlett, the woman who needs to wrestle, and McIntyre attacked McIntyre with pepper spray, and then Cross hit McIntyre with the cross hammer, and Cross was victorious, and Scarlett and him walked out of the arena together. Scarlett Bordeaux, who needs to wrestle.
Okay, I approve of the blatant Scarlett needs to wrestle bits. I'm a big fan of those. Two things with this match. One, strap matches, you're supposed to tap all four corners to win them. They're not pins or submission matches.
Yeah.
Secondly, I thought this made Cross look really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only major offensive moves in this match on his behalf were by Scarlett.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to make you a little bit more upset as well?
Oh, I'm not upset. I just think it's stupid, but go on.
Through this whole pay-per-view, Gritty got more screen time than Scarlett Bordeaux did.
That's just stupid. We both know that's stupid, don't we?
Oh, speaking of which, we had another Miz segment. And Miz was on the phone to Maurice organising his birthday party on Raw this week. Tomorrow, sorry. And
Not being
Gritty
funny. Why am I watching that when I could be looking at Scarlett? Explain that to me.
I don't know.
There you go. And I don't mean anything weird that way. I just mean Scarlett's better to look at than Miz.
And Gritty. So, following that, we had Bianca Belair versus Bayley in a ladder match for the Raw Women's title.
Yeah, I've made my opinions on this clear before. I don't know why this isn't just like a kendo stick match.
This was a really cat and mouse ladder match as well.
This
there's actually three people in it.
This match reminded me of the game Mousetrap.
I mean, Belair had the match won, and then Damage Control came out, shockingly, to intervene. And then she double KO'd both members of Damage Control, and then KO'd Bayley again, with who held onto a ladder, half of a ladder for some reason, thinking that it wasn't going to, cost her. And then Belair climbed the ladder and got the belt.
I mean, the double KOD to the two of members of Damage Control, great, not a problem there. What the hell is Bayley doing holding onto the bloody thing is God knows what mystery, because it's like, that's not going to help you. It looks really stupid.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about this, honestly. In a match like this, where there's no rules other than just retrieving the belt, why don't you just have Bayley win the match?
I don't know.
Because honestly, it's a better story than Bianca retaining here.
Yeah. It makes Damage Control look fucked. Because if they can't beat her 3-on-1, then what the fuck are they going to do? Get another one?
Three on one with no rules, basically.
Yeah.
So
there was no help either. No Oscar, no Bliss.
Yeah, I was going to get onto that. It's different if she'd had backup, as in Belair did, but that didn't happen here.
No.
So don't get me wrong, got nothing against Belair. Don't have a problem with being champion either, but I think this probably has been a good time for her to have lost the belt, because 3 against 1, you know, if you lose the belt and there's no rules, nobody's going to say you look weak, because you don't. It's 3 people.
Yeah, precisely.
So, but it wasn't the worst match on this show by any means of the imagination. That was the previous match, but
yeah. Following this, we had Edge and Finn Balor in the I Quit match.
Oh yeah.
Finn came out with a full head mask on that was covered in spikes for some reason.
Kinky.
I have no idea what this was supposed to resemble or
Kinky.
do. He didn't even wear it for the full match. He wore it for his entrance and then took it off.
Yeah, kinky.
I mean, it's better than a blue dot covering his entire face.
Christian, at last, you're on your own. For anyone who doesn't understand that, you need to do a search. Trust me, that will make more sense then. But only thing I'll say about this match before you start, sorry. This match really made me think back to that Orton match that he had with Edge. Do you know, the one that went on with that 20 years too long? That's what this match reminded me of.
Yeah. See, when I heard Finn's music, I thought he was coming out as the demon. And I was like, okay. And then he came out with the head mask, the full face mask covered in spikes. And I was like, couldn't be asked to sit in the chair for the makeup?
He does the makeup himself, so maybe he forgot his makeup.
So,
or maybe he borrowed Ripley's domination mask and uses on Dominic.
Yikes. No, it probably looked more like Andrade's mask. But anyway, this match went everywhere in the arena and then back to ringside eventually. Priest and Dom Mysterio intervened when Balor almost said, "I quit." But then Rhea handcuffed Edge to the top rope, was attacked 3-on-1. Mysterio came out to try and intervene, but Dominic took his own dad out. Then Beth Phoenix came out to try and help her husband. We had a face-off between Ripley and Beth that ended in a brawl, and Beth finally got the key and Edge was freed. He speared Priest, and then Dom offered him friendship, tried to shake his hand, and Edge kicked him in the balls, payback for Cardiff.
Nice.
He then speared Finn 3 times.
Is it wrong? Well, my favourite part of this match was the fact that Edge kicked him in the balls.
No, it was mine too.
Yeah.
So Finn, Edge speared Finn 3 times, put him in a crossface, and then Beth was knocked out by Ripley, who used brass knuckles. Finn hit the coup de grace 3 times on Edge and told him, asked the ref to ask him if he quit, and he told Finn to go to hell. Then Rhea Ripley went to Concerto Beth, and Edge finally quit, thinking that it'd save Beth Phoenix, but Rhea Ripley did it anyway after he quit.
Which I like for her, by the way.
Yeah.
Not for Beth, obviously, but I mean for Rhea Ripley's character. She should have done it anyway, regardless.
Yeah. So Finn won. And while we're on subject of Ripley and Beth, Beth's been after this match for a little while. She's wanted to go 1-on-1 with Ripley. So this is a great way to get it to happen, possibly.
Well, if Beth's physically up to doing that, then I don't have an issue with that because I think it'll be a good match.
Yeah, I do too.
Because, not being funny, I think Rhea Ripley, if you let Rhea Ripley just be Rhea Ripley, can have a decent match with probably anyone.
Yeah.
But I think somebody like Beth, I think, would be really good for her because it's a similar sort of. He's doing a similar sort of wrestler too, so I think that's going to work quite well.
And after this match, we had a surprisingly random Charlotte Flair promo package. Yeah.
Whoa.
That then led to Miz about to talk to Triple H, and Gritty, the mascot, interrupted him again. At this point, Miz was pissed off, so he beat the crap out of Gritty. And then while Gritty was lying on the floor, the camera looked up at Miz, and Dexter Lumis was standing behind him. Lumis silenced Miz and laid him on the floor next to Gritty, then helped Gritty up. And when Gritty eventually got up, Miz was coming too, and he went to get on all fours, and Gritty kicked him in the stomach, and then walked off with Dexter Lumis.
Oddly enough, didn't mind that.
I liked this.
The rest of everything that led up to this point was stupid, but the actual payoff I thought was fine. If you're going to do stupid shit, this is how you do stupid shit.
Yeah, I got it, and it actually was actually pretty funny as well.
Yeah.
So then
Main event time, isn't it?
Yeah, we got Rollins versus Riddle with Daniel Cormier as special guest referee in the fight.
But only on one part of it because he doesn't want to climb.
Yeah. No climb. No climbing.
Not enough money. Did not pay me enough to climb.
So, at the start of the match, Riddle accidentally hit Cormier. And Rollins capitalized. And then Rollins threw Cormier off of Riddle when he was checking on him. And Cormier grabbed Rollins and reminded him who was in charge. And this happened a few times. Riddle hit an RKO on Rollins after a stomp by Rollins. Then there was a bit of bias questioning as to whether or not Cormier should have started the count straight after the stomp or checked on Riddle first. But he elected to check on Riddle first and then start the count.
The thing is with that is purely a referee's call, even if it's not, even if it's an actual normal referee. That is strictly the referee's judgment as to whether they should check first. Depends on what kind of impact or move that's been done.
Yeah.
Because they are told to check for like concussions and stuff. They're not supposed to just let you just lay there.
Yeah. But then there was an upper level part of this match that Cormier had no real say in, which included Riddle being pedigreed by Rollins on the top level, and Rollins being RKO'd by Riddle on the top level and falling back into the actual ring.
Yeah, as we have already covered before, Cormier wasn't paid enough to go upstairs.
Yeah. So following this, Riddle hit a senton from the top section, which is about 6 foot in height, I believe.
About that, yeah.
So RIP Riddle's arse, the way he landed this senton on Rollins.
Not being funny, I doubt Riddle felt anything.
I mean, from the sounds he was making, I'd say otherwise.
But bro.
So after that,
also, Aaron, it's called Selling Boy.
Yeah. Sorry, it's called a Broton when Riddle does it. My bad. I did a Michael
Yeah.
Cole. Because Michael
You-
Cole called a senton a floating bro.
No, that's the DDT, isn't it? Isn't that a DDT movie he does?
No.
I've seen him do a DDT and it's been called the floating bro before, and I don't mean by Michael Cole.
No, the floating bro is when he like does kind of like a corkscrew moonsault off the top rope.
That would not be a floating bro though.
That's what they call it.
Yeah, but it's not floating; it's falling.
Yeah.
To me, if you're going to do a floating anything, floating's like when you do like a float over
Mm-hmm.
and then do a move. That would be a floating bro, if to me.
Yeah.
Which is why I figured the DDT would make the float over DDT would make more sense because that is literally a float over.
Yeah, but that's
That
not
would,
what they call it.
yeah, but that's what I'm calling it because WWE are full of crap.
Yeah.
Honestly, if he's gonna do like moves off the top rope like that and hit people off the top rope, surely he should do some sort of pun about being high.
Like
Just my
420
opinion.
said, I just smoked your ass.
Yeah. Or if he hits him with a big elbow shot, so it could be called the Bing Bong. I don't bloody know. You know, something things that play along the fact he's a fucking stoner because he is.
Or like a clothesline, like a ricochet clothesline, and call it the Rip.
There you go.
So
There's a million things you can do, which would be much better names. But yeah.
So yeah, Riddle hit this Broton from the top, which is about like 6 feet in height, and it like it actually hurt. Rollins tried to get a bit of a flurry of offense, but Riddle got him in a triangle and would not let go.
Did he land like sitting or on his back?
Sitting.
Sitting. Yeah, that would jar his spinal column, so that will hurt quite a bit. So yeah. Because I didn't catch how he landed, I just saw that it happened. So.
The way he got up as well, he was kind of like you could look from his hands. He was shaking off pins and needles in his fingers.
Yeah, that's where you jar your spinal column because that goes right through everything, and you get.
Yeah,
it feels a bit weird for about a minute or so afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it, so I know.
So Rollins tried to get back in with a bit of a flurry of offense, trying to smack Riddle off of every single part of the cage, but Riddle got him trapped in a triangle submission and wouldn't let go. And Rollins tapped out.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you tap out.
Yeah. So as Riddle was leaving the arena, all the lights went out, and we heard
WWE basically didn't pay their power bill again.
Yeah, we heard Wyatt singing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands," and then giant human versions of the Firefly Funhouse people were spotted in various locations in the crowd and spotlighted. And then a door appeared on the center stage, and it opened, and Wyatt returned in a brand new mask and a blue lantern in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "I'm here," and then blew it out.
Yes.
So, no, I'd say not a bad pay-per-view. I give it a solid 7.
I think this was the best show of the whole weekend, honestly, out the 4 things, if you're going to cover them all.
I mean, a solid 7, possibly pushing to an 8.
Yeah. Only thing I really didn't like about this show, match-wise, was the Cross McIntyre match. I thought the rest of it was fine.
I agree, but I also wasn't a really huge fan of the Ronda Liv Morgan match.
That's why I said fine. I didn't say the rest of them were good or great. They were fine. But I do think the Ronda Morgan match had its issues too, but not as nowhere near to the extent of what the McIntyre Cross match was. I also
No.
also
It
the
just
match
seemed-
sorry, go on.
It just seemed damaging more than anything.
Yes, agreed. My favorite match of the show was the first match.
Yeah. So
Liked the opener. I thought this was a good way to start a show. The 6 people involved, putting the work, putting the effort, and it looked good and it worked.
my top 3 probably in order would probably be the Donnybrook match, the I Quit match, and then finally the Rollins versus Riddle match. The rest I really wasn't bothered about.
My only issue with the I Quit match is it was too long.
I agree to disagree on that. I think it was just long enough, maybe a tiny bit stretched, but for what they managed to do with it, it was all right.
Yeah, my issue with it is it reminded me length. It just felt like it dragged on like the Orton Edge match did, and that's really not a thing for me. You got to make me care. If you're going to have a match like that, you got to make me care.
Yeah, I mean they didn't really have like a huge build up for this either. It was like a 2-week thing.
Well, that's my point. I didn't care.
No. The amount of matches that these guys have had with each other, you should care by this point, or you should just give up on it.
Yeah, if you don't make me care about it, I'm not going to give a shit. Because, and if you're going to have a long match like this, you need to have the person watching it give a crap what happens. Otherwise, it's just going to be very long.
No, yeah, I agree.
So, which is what it was in my case. I'm not, but that's just my opinion. So, however, despite that, even the McIntyre match wasn't the worst thing of the week.
No.
Would we like to guess what the worst thing of the week was?
Mysterio leaving AJ Styles to the Wolves?
It's actually a tie, but that's not one of them.
Huh.
It's Candice and Kai and that Waller effect segment.
I'd go Candice and Kai more than Waller effect because even though it wasn't great, it was still entertaining, kind of.
I thought the thing of that segment is it didn't need Waller there. They could have done that without him and it would have been fine.
Yeah, but they're just trying to get him kind of in, and they're kind of trying to make a new like.
But that's the problem. He's not, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
With that particular thing, those are the top 2, but the LeRae one bothers me more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing against Kai, but you shouldn't have somebody coming up like that and then just squash them in 5 minutes. When you're trying to build them up, it's really, really not helpful. It also doesn't do that much for Kai either, which is the bigger issue here.
Yeah.
Because you're not helping either one of them by having that happen.
No.
Let's see now. Let's see. Can we work out what Aaron's is? Would be the question.
Hmm?
Or do you have one?
What?
Worst, the worst one of the week.
I'd say LeRae and Kai.
Ah, so we actually agree. That's interesting. Yeah. That's fair enough. So it's surprising we've done more than we normally do, but we've actually done it about the same amount of time, which is interesting.
It's probably because I've got a fucked voice.
Yeah, I think that's probably quite likely. So, yeah. Obviously,
We seem to
Well-
get through things quicker as well when we haven't enjoyed them as much. Because we just have less to talk about.
For an example, guys, if we were sat here talking about Dynamite, this show would probably be about 4 hours. Just to give you an idea. But no. But there you go, really. I do think the pay-per-view, though, if nothing else, is going to have people wondering what's going to happen for the next week on the programs, which is what you kind of need to do for a sign-off for a show.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that will help. The question, of course, is, well, a lot of people are going to have this, is obviously Bray appeared at the end of the show, but what is Bray going to do? Is he Raw? Is he SmackDown? Is he both? Or what is he? And also, what is he going to do? I can tell you what he shouldn't do. It's literally it's literally the only thing I'd say for them not to do. Keep him away from the belts.
I mean, United States, sure. IC title, maybe. Just not the Universal WWE one.
I would keep him away from all the belts, and there's a very simple reason why. Because the last time they put him towards belts, it's what really fucked up the character.
Yeah.
And that's how it comes down to. Unless they've learned to write properly and actually make it work, they ain't going to work. Especially you're going to have Bill Goldberg turn up every so often as well. Yeah, see? Also Lesnar. You see what I mean, yeah?
How badly my nose is blocked. Late, and it's only coming out this side. Like,
hey, it did come out both. But much more out the right one, yeah. The right one's like Puff the Magic Dragon, the left one is like Thomas the Tank Engine.
Choo choo, motherfuckers.
Yeah, but obviously that is the week in WWE just gone. We don't have Kaylee to torment and tease, so this is that. Cool. Let's see. Yeah, charity. Do you want to do the charity thing?
Sure. Care Bags this month is an Australian charity. They they purchase rucksacks, fill them with essentials for kids in foster care. That's including like colouring books, pens, pencils, and stuff like that. Stuff to keep them like entertained, like and little diary sometimes inside of them as well, just so that way they can have something to call their own when they go into their new homes.
Cool.
It's a great charity. Great.
Yeah. Those of you watching on YouTube, link is in the description down there for the site to go to for that, because it's not his Just Giving page, because it doesn't work that way. So for the October charity, which is what that is, the link is there. The Just Giving page link is there, but just above it, I've made it very clear that's what it is. It's for October's. That's the one you click for the ones for this month's charity. And for those of you on Twitch, you can obviously find Aaron's stuff that way. I'm sure it's quite simple.
And if you do donate, make sure to put CWC in the reference message, because then they know that you've donated through my streams and stuff.
Yeah, because it's all important that they know that the Cruiserweight Classic actually supports their charity.
No. I mean, you can put Karen with colours, but I was just trying to save them a bit of time.
It's a wrestling podcast, dude. I had to say it.
Yeah. Or it's the CWC Performance Centre.
Oh, there you go. But no, obviously it is Karen Colours. But yeah, CW series probably would be quicker for most people. If you want to type out the whole thing too, I don't think that matters either, as Aaron's just pointed out. So some people prefer to do the whole thing.
Yeah. Personal preference. So
exactly. So you know, obviously you're just getting over not feeling well. Got any streams planned at all?
Well, I don't have any plans for the rest of the evening, so I was thinking about hopping on Fortnite for a little bit after this. I might stream it. So I've got a friend online that's asked me if I'm free. Some people might know him. His name's Intro City. He's an avid Pokemon collector and also great Fortnite player.
Well, if you're gonna do it, dude, then obviously just go online with the dude there and just do it that way, you know.
Yeah, he's got quite a few people in his lobby. A couple. Sorry, his partner, who's also a streamer, and a couple of other well-known streamers too. So we're probably just going to be dicking about in creative, playing gun games, stuff like that.
Partner or partner?
Girlfriend.
So then, yeah, that's what I was checking because there's Twitch partner and there's partner.
No, he's currently an affiliate, but he's close to partner. So
okay, that's why I asked, just to clarify, because obviously that gets a bit complicated that way. But that's cool though. But yeah, obviously if you're gonna hop in, you might as well just do that, mate. You know, just get out there, have a bit of fun with people. You know, it's not the worst idea.
Obviously, I'm not going to be able to go straight from this to the Fortnite because it's going to take a little bit of a muck around on the OBS side of things, setting up for a different country.
Yeah, give the I'd say once we finish here, give Aaron what 10 minutes, 10 20 minutes.
Probably give me 5. I just need to change the title, change the product that I'm doing in the stream, and then I'll be able to go straight on.
Okay, give Aaron between 5 to 10 minutes. Then would be my suggestion. Just give him a chance. Obviously, if you follow him on his Twitch page, which you should be doing, by the way, you'll get a notification when he goes live because that's just how that works. Because that's how it goes. Yeah. So I think that sounds like what Aaron's going to do for the rest of his night. My rest of my night is pretty much going to be I'm going to have nothing. I am actually going to go to bed because I've had a very long day, last couple of days. So I'll actually be trying to get some sleep for once in my life, which probably won't happen, but I'm going to try.
I can relate to you on that. I haven't slept properly in a couple of weeks. I mean, it's the anniversary of my nan's funeral today, and the anniversary of my granddad's death. So I'm just trying to keep active. And
good idea, I think. So, yeah, and you haven't got, and obviously Kaylee's not there to distract either.
Nah.
So, you know, she could be around, but she just can't be bothered, right?
I wish that was the case.
I'm assuming working.
Yeah.
I figured because she does do some weird hours, that one.
Yeah, she's a bit annoyed actually because she's been put on the late, but she's been put on the late sleep, but not the early. So she's got to she went to work at 3, has to get up at 7 tomorrow morning, and then come all the way back home.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah, normally she does the late sleep early the following day, so she comes back home at 3. So it's like a bit. It makes more sense.
I agree. It does make more sense. What you described is weird.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, doesn't get to have me tease and take the piss out of her. So there's some such to everything, I guess.
Yeah.
So there you go. But let's see. Is there anything else we need to do or talk about, do you think? Or are we done, do you reckon, for the general public?
I believe that's it.
Cool. Let's see. Just have a quick check. So, okay. Right for next weekend, or have you got anything on? With a question. It'll be the 16th if it helps.
I should be okay. There is going to be 1 week where I am going to be unable to. The 30th, I can't do it because I believe I've got to check this, and I'll check and I'll get back to you. But I'm doing a Halloween special, and I believe the 30th 31st, so late.
I know you were going to do a Halloween thing, so yeah, that's why I wondered.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on the fine print details yet, so I'll let you know.
Sure, no worries. I mean, the guys will get to see you regardless. She's just obviously not necessarily here, so we'll see what happens anyway. But there you go. Cool. So as far as that stuff goes, yeah. So probably should wave goodbye to the Twitch people first, then, so you can clear them out. So also let's just get ready and set up for that, and then we can do the YouTube people as well. Sound like a plan?
Yep.
Cool. In that case, goodbye, Twitch people. I will see you later. Aaron will see you in a matter of minutes because he's going to come back on again to do gaming. Because it's all fun and games until something blocks up their nose.
Yeah. It's not funny.
It's not funny now. It's not funny at all. In all seriousness, it really does actually suck when you can't breathe out your nose properly. It's not fun. So
yeah.
This YouTube people is where Aaron spends 700 years trying to get OBS to behave itself because it usually fucking doesn't.
Oh no, it's worked this time. It's because I wasn't raiding out. I don't think. I think.
I think that probably would be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's usually why, because normally when you don't raid out, it tends to be all right. Secure. There you go. Anyway, so that's Aaron off of Twitch people. So obviously, YouTube people, obviously, we will see you next week regardless. Just see what else happens. As I said before, you can catch Aaron on his Twitch in about 5 to 10 minutes from now, roughly. It might not be that, honestly. Just keep an eye out for his alert that he's gone live thing. So just make sure you follow his Twitch page for that. Link for that's in the description down here, along with the rest of our stuff.
Yep.
And you get to see him care with colours. And because Katie's not there, you don't get to see the adult version of it either. So win-win. So there you go. So YouTube viewers, we will see you later. So we're going to say goodbye to you guys as well. So we'll see you later. So bye-bye, YouTube.
Bye-bye.